Catch me walking through your hood just like I'm Kimberly Classic. It's time to face it, we fighting now for the next generation. Stop being basic, we at war, battle for all creation. The truth can align with any lie, no matter how you would place it. The son of man's like scatter flock, the kids people like pass a lot. Who preach the truth with no mask and not spread fear and hate for an aftershock. Millions lost cause the faith is shook, the pandemic threw a major hook. Just like the punch that Nader took, the sign alone is what made you look. For a place you can run to, safe from devils that will hunt you. Say you're not ready but he's on you, so please shine bright like the sun do. Ooh, wondering why many churches are closed, illiberal policies going unopposed. Stand up in faith and the vanity goes, on progress I'm working but he already knows.
I can't find the words to say what I feel, what I discern. When the devil tries to persuade me, God will work wonders. When I can't find the words to say what I feel, what I discern. When the devil tries to persuade me, God will work wonders.
Yeah, here come that devil again. Must be a lib always meddling. He knows I ain't gon' let him in. I ain't a beta male, I ain't feminine. I got the medicine, I don't play. I ain't better than I won't sway. I lack melanin, I'm an elephant. I'ma tell the truth and no shame. Y'all think I'ma just fold. I'ma fight the fight, I won't roll. I'ma light the light and my light is bright, cause I know that I'm not alone. I'm in my zone, he's on the throne. I'm not confused, he's on my dome. I ain't no rat, ain't no Democrat. I am a God, he never will cap, okay? Mask off and stop fearing. Grab a job and move your rear end. Take a look at my past, I was freaking. In fact, got my foot on the gas and he's steering. Whoa. Now when the devil talking, please don't run. Snatch that coward by the throat and tell him I'm with the sun. He'll leave you alone for a little, but he coming for you. Just put your faith in him, cause God could work wonders for you, okay?
And I can't find the words to say what I feel, what I discern. When the devil tries to persuade me, God will work wonders. When I can't find the words to say what I feel, what I discern. When the devil tries to persuade me, God will work wonders.
Yeah. He's working wonders now. No wonder it's working out. Previously tongue-tied when it comes time to speak up for what I deserve. Back when I couldn't find the words. In this life I learned if I observe, then I'll discern the lies they hide behind the curtains. In the circus to define the word that's in verse where I find the courage. And when I am heard, I'll be sure that my pride is earned. Picture Reese sitting in a scene where he didn't speak. Everybody looking at him like kid's a freak. Literally paralyzed by history. Perpetuated in defeat, but in retreat. See, he turned his weakness to his Herculean words served to ensure his freedom. And the shackles that bound him converted in purpose. A purse down beneath him observing the beacon. Picture me spitting this flow to the masses. For I'd have thrown up this glow up is drastic. We put our soul in this, but never sold for this. Trevor and Topher, no holding us captive. Devil's been known to control us with tactics. Motives exposing and focus the faction. We put our soul in this, but never sold for this. Trevor and Topher, you know it's a classic.
And I can't find the words to say what I feel, what I discern. When the devil tries to persuade me, God will work wonders. When I can't find the words to say what I feel, what I discern. When the devil tries to persuade me, God will work wonders.
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. We are the two kings of the Rube Empire. I'm the Philosopher King, the Mad Scientist Matt, and I've got a perspective on things.
I don't know what to say, but this might be the best day of your life because the Iron King is in the casa, in su casa. He is in tu casa, mi amigos. We break bread together. We drink together. We converse together. And I've got a perspective on things today. You ready to rock, bro?
Yeah, I'm ready to rock.
My Spanish broke down real fast. Y español es muy terrible. Lo siento, lo siento. So it is what it is, baby, you know? Man, are you ready, though? Is that the real question?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready. Episode 251, bro.
The Rube Empire isn't ready.
Oof. Definitely not ready. They ain't ready for that today.
The two kings are always ready. That's why we're the two kings.
That's true. I mean, listen, dog. I'm not gonna lie. I had to cross over that, the 526 traffic to cross town to get here. But baby, I'm here. Then I had to, I had to assemble some more of my gym equipment to make the most bad A gym of all time. So I'm pretty excited. You know what I mean? You feel me, dog?
What's new to the Boss's Lager?
Man, Boss's Lager has got we got the 53-pound Thompson flat bells, or the center mass bells that wrap around your hand. Very excited about that. I got me a brand new safety squat bar. It's a yoke bar. It wraps around your neck. It is gorgeous. So excited about that. I got me a new bench. I'm very excited about my new thick bench, competition bench that's coming. I don't have that one yet, but I'm very excited about that as well. Man, I'm over the moon, bro. I'm over the moon. I'm a little excited, a little jacked, but all in all, I'm just excited to be alive. You know, it's a good time to live. You feel me, man? It's just a good time to live in. You know?
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, and I got an assault bike as well. So I got me a little assault bike, which is an Echo bike from Rogue, which is the fastest thing I've ever come to my door ever. I ordered it, and within 2 days it was there. I
mean, that's good, but an assault bike, gay.
It's like an assault weapon, you know?
There's no cardio at the Boss's Lager.
Hey, listen, we got to get a little cardio, man. I'm a fat boy. I'm fat. I'm a fat
cardio
boy,
doesn't burn fat.
Well, it's not about that, because assault bikes really aren't about like slow, steady. It's about attacking, just attacking, getting that short term. Oh, it's beautiful, bro. It's fun. It's fun. I did 2 minutes the other day and thought I was going to die. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Cardio's about endurance.
So I'm not an endurance guy. I'm only endurance in one way in my life, and I can't talk about that on the show. So I'm just staying right where I am, and I'm excited. I'm ready to rock. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go. So
what's the 251? So what's the show about, bro?
Well, I mean, haven't you heard? If you don't buy everything that the media tells you about Zelensky and the Ukrainian government, you're pro-Putin.
Really?
Yeah. Have you heard?
Oh, is that like when they told me that if I didn't want to get a experimental shot that was safe and effective, but magically has 6 pages full of entirely tiny print of side effects that we won't talk about, like it killing people, and the two things that are most disturbing about the side effects of this experimental shot was stillborn births and myocarditis, which affects men disproportionately more than women. So not only kills our babies, but kills our men off too.
That's good.
I was called a science denier for not following that. So,
well, now you're pro-Putin. That's for sure.
Are these coming from the same people that told me that if I didn't support Black Lives Matter, I was a self-hating racist? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you're that too.
Even though, didn't Black Lives Matter just get busted again? Another lady got busted for not spending a dime on any of the nonprofit things that Black Lives Matter is supposed to spend money on.
The government's getting rid of the brown coats. So, yeah, we're watching the Night of Long Knives. right before the Great Reset.
Wait a minute. This sounds so familiar to me. Wasn't this the same crew that if we didn't buy into the Russian delusion, that ended up being a complete and total hoax, that we were a Russian
which
agent?
is essentially back again.
Oh, so it's just full circle.
Yeah, we're back to square one. They're pre-impeaching Trump before the 2024 election.
Gotcha.
And they're trying to turn the tide in the election that's coming up. Obviously, they got to program those NPCs with the new Trump supporters are pro-Putin.
Yeah,
garbage.
I mean,
well, here let me play this video. Let me play this video.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is from MSNBC, so no surprise, but still.
Yesterday, reporters asked me if I thought President Putin was smart. I said, of course he's smart. Putin is saying, oh, they're going to sanction me. They've sanctioned me for the last 25 years. You mean I can take over a whole country and they're going to sanction me? The problem is not that Putin is smart. The real problem is that our leaders are dumb.
It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter where. If the former guy has a chance to lavish praise on Russia's maniacal dictator, you can bet he'll take it each and every time. And he did, as you just saw last night at CPAC. Sadly, though, what's more disturbing is the growing number of other allies Vladimir Putin seems to have here in the United States.
Democrats in Washington have told you have a patriotic duty to hate Vladimir Putin. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. It might be worth asking yourself, since it is getting pretty serious, what is this really about? Why do I hate Putin so much? Has Putin ever called me a racist?
Very shrewd, very capable. I have enormous respect for him. I've been criticized for saying that. No, I have enormous respect for him.
Look at Russia. Can we give a round of applause for Russia?
The whole reason this is happening is because Joe Biden is a weak president. Now America is a weak country, and our entire world is falling apart, and we're seeing war erupt, which did not happen under President Trump because we had peace through strength.
Y'all, come on. So why is the party of Reagan, which once saw Russia and communism as the evil empire, now seemingly rooting for Putin? Joining me now to try to answer that question, here on set with me, Charlie Sykes, MSNBC contributor and editor-at-large at the Bulwark.
Okay. All right, so you weren't able to hear any of that, right?
Don't worry, I watched it on Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Plausible Foolishness at twitch.tv/Plausible Foolishness. I heard every bit of it, but go ahead.
Well, okay, so first off, they start off with Trump,
of course,
claiming that basically laying out facts. Putin is smart. He's not a dumb guy. And he's looking at the situation, and he sees, I can do this, and I'm not going to get in trouble. He's not criticizing Putin for doing a bad thing. What he's doing is criticizing the left and the Democrat Party and the Biden administration for being weak and ineffective and not doing anything to stop him. But that means we're pro-Putin.
You know what's
we're
pro-Putin
now.
All of those clips, they never let a sentence string longer than like 3 seconds.
Sure. Tucker Carlson didn't say anything wrong.
Nope.
Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't say anything remotely pro-Putin.
Yeah.
The only one is the other guy who I think is Nick Fuentes, who's him and his groypers are they're kind of off the. Nick Fuentes has been exiled from everything, right?
Yeah.
And but now they're trying to portray him as mainstream Republican.
Yeah.
Give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's Nick Fuentes. I want to make sure.
Well, what's interesting is this. Here's the situation. Okay. What do you do when you have nothing? You got to call other people names, right? I mean, this goes back to it, right? So when you let the orange man beat your golden girl,
Yeah,
and
that's
he comes out of the
definitely.
gate,
Yeah,
you know,
that's Nick Fuentes.
okay, cool.
So
Here's the thing: you let the orange man beat your golden girl, okay? He steps in day one and absolutely tears it up. He lowers crime immediately. Focuses on the southern borders, which he promised to do. Let's see, he got the highest or the lowest unemployment for minorities in history, lowest unemployment for women, record-setting stock market, record-setting economy, and he's killing it on all cylinders. And every single time they say he's going to start World War III, which gives the globalists an erection, it doesn't happen. Remember, he kills the terrorist. What is it, Sublati? What's his name? The guy from Iran. The Iranian
I know who you're
general.
talking about. Yeah.
He kills that dude, and allegedly World War III is supposed to pop off, and they shot a couple rockets close to the base, and then that was it. And it was done. We were supposed to, start a war with North Korea, and Trump called him.
Back to Iran. Did you see today's news?
That they're attacking our bases?
No, that so okay, let's talk. So we've put reasonably harsh. Okay, we've put some sanctions on Russia. Russia already had sanctions from us. We put some more. We're supposedly not buying his oil anymore. I don't know if that's actually true, but
we are.
Yeah. But there's all these sanctions and energy sanctions, and they've been renegotiating with Iran on the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, so the Iranian nuclear deal, right? And the concessions that we've made, basically, I'll just read this quote from a State Department official that they gave to the Free Beacon. The U.S. will, quote, not sanction Russian participation in nuclear projects that are part of resuming full implementation of the JCPOA. This is the treaty that we made with Iran that Trump tore up because it was garbage.
Yeah.
The quote goes further. The United States will take actions as necessary to ensure that U.S. sanctions do not apply to the implementation of JCPOA nuclear-related projects and activities by non-U.S. individuals and entities, the official explained. Perhaps it is now clear to Moscow that, as we have said publicly, the new Russia-related sanctions are unrelated to the JCPOA and should not have any impact on its implementation. So what does that mean for Russia? They get to cash in on a $10 billion contract to help Tehran expand its Bushehr nuclear power plant. And
nuclear power plant.
Yeah, and the company that's doing it is Rosatom, which is a state-controlled energy company. So that's $10 billion in Russia's pocket. Oh gosh, so those sanctions are so hard. We're so tough. Listen to this. Mikhail Ulyanov, Russia's lead negotiator in this deal, recently bragged that Moscow, Tehran, and Beijing essentially took the U.S. to the cleaners in getting what they wanted from the deal at the expense of America. Quote, I am absolutely sincere in this regard. Iran got much more than it could expect. Much more. Realistically speaking, Iran got more than, frankly, I expected, others expected. This is a matter of fact. We're so tough. We're so tough, but you should hate Putin. Hate him. Why are you pro-Putin and anti-Ukraine?
Yeah, because what? Just because I don't want to pick up and eat a crap burger doesn't mean I'm pro crap hot dog. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
It is what it is. Like, I don't have to play that game.
They would disagree with you. Here, listen to this clip. This is from NPR. This is fun.
NPC, would you say?
Yeah. NPC Radio.
Gotcha.
Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine began, we've been focusing on how Ukrainians around the world have responded to the Russian assault on their country. And in recent days, we've also talked about the Russian oligarchs whose fortunes are believed to be tied to Putin. But now we want to consider the views of another group, Russian emigres, who are not part of that group, many of whose ancestors left the country to escape the kind of authoritarianism that Putin has been reestablishing. It's estimated that close to 3 million people in the U.S. identify as Russian American, about 900,000 of whom speak Russian at home. Liana Zazulin is one of them. She is an attorney and international legal specialist who's consulted with the World Bank and others. Born in the U.S. to Russian-speaking parents, she spent years traveling to and living in former East Bloc nations to advise them on pension reform. She's been organizing some of her fellow Russian Americans and emigres who are opposed to the Russian invasion, and she's with us now to tell us more. Liana Zazulin, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
And you, well, frankly, you were telling me earlier that you're just devastated by this. And you and other people are just devastated by this. Could you just talk a little bit about the feelings that you've been having in recent days as this has unfolded?
It's just total shock and grief. I was sadly not surprised because we've been hearing about the military buildup around Ukraine for months. So I was not surprised, but I was still in a total state of shock and devastation. And frankly, this has caused a paradigm shift for many Russian Americans. There were a number of Russian Americans who historically were Republican and conservative. It's a culturally conservative group of people, and they were historically Republicans, and they were courted to a large extent by the Putin government because it had been a pro-religious government, it seemed. So there was reunification of the Russian Orthodox Church in the US with the Russian Orthodox Church in Russia. And a number of the Russian American friends that I have, people I've known my whole life, sort of thought Putin was okay. Okay, he's a little bit not as free as the United States, but you know, the churches are open and the economy is going well. And for people like that, this has caused, I know several people for whom it's a total upside down paradigm shift. They've now realized that he's really, really evil.
Let me just jump in for a second. I just want to say that one thing that's been shocking to some people, frankly, is the emergence of pro-Putin defenders in the conservative media and even in the Republican Party, and the former president being chief among them, right? And so I was wondering if you have been seeing that in your community, and are there people who think that what Putin is doing is acceptable or even right? And if so, why?
There are a few people who are vocal about thinking that what Putin is doing is acceptable. There are several reasons for that. Partly they are Trump supporters. Partly they are people who watch exclusively Russian news and have bought the suggestion from Russian news that Russian speakers in Ukraine are somehow persecuted. But also this is part of an active campaign by the Russian government over the last, I would say, 10 years to become close to the American conservative religious fundamentalist groups. Their appeal is, we're against gays and we're pro-family, so we are more like you than these evil Democrats. And Russian Americans, along with other conservatives in the United States, have been very susceptible to that. Now, there are people who didn't buy into all that Putin is wonderful stuff. I talked recently to a woman who's 94. Her mother escaped from Russia during the revolution through the mountains of Kyrgyzstan. This woman is 94, born in China, and she is just crying. She's just watching the news, and she's just crying.
So you've been trying to organize other people with your views and your background to speak out against this. You helped draft a letter. It's called An Appeal by Emigres from the Soviet and Post-Soviet Space about the invasion.
All right, that's enough. So, I mean, it's obvious why we like, why we're pro Putin, because we hate gays. We hate gays, and the churches are open. So,
okay, so a couple things here. My BS detector went off during this. She had a friend born in China that escaped from Russia over what mountain range did she say?
I don't know. I didn't. I don't remember
really
that part.
I'm curious about this. She escaped from Russia through the mountains of where?
I could replay it.
Oh man, I smell BS on this. She's born in China, which China and Russia connect. That's cool, but what mountain range? She didn't say. I'm trying to see what mountain range she was talking about. Anyway, but yeah. Long story short, there was a lot of there's a lot of buzzwords. Trump supporters, Republicans, and they hate a bunch of gay people.
Yep. I mean, that's it. That's the beauty of it. That's how you know it's true.
Well, a couple things. How do I nicely put this? One, I'm not going to sit here and defend my position because at the end of the day, it doesn't need defended after the last 6 years of them being wrong about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get real. They told us everything that Trump was going to do was going to be evil and wrong, and it ended up being great and gold. Trump wasn't perfect, and no one's worshiping Trump here, but they told us all this stuff about Trump that absolutely wasn't true. They told us he was a Russian agent. That wasn't true. They told us that he was making up stuff about being wiretapped. That wasn't true. They told us that there was a nefarious call with Ukraine, which got him impeached, which ended up not being true at all, which is interesting because now they're butt buddies with Ukraine. They told us that there wouldn't be a vaccine for 4 years. And then, we got a therapeutic. So they're partially right there when it came to that. Right. But they told us if we don't take this, everyone's going to die. They didn't. They told us that it was safe and effective, and it wasn't. They told us that blacks were getting killed disproportionately than white people in America, which absolutely is not true. And if you disagreed with them anywhere, you were evil, Trumper, racist, unscientific, blah, 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 credulous rube. Right? They told us that things would be awesome under Biden. They told us that it would be a return to normalcy. They meant that in a positive way, but yeah, they returned back to normal globalist BS. What's the legislative win that Biden's had so far?
Well, then they didn't. No. I'm sorry. I'm at a loss. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
So when you have nothing, and you've been wrong over and over and over again, the only thing you can do is call someone a name. But here's the problem. That name and the shame that goes with it requires a moral authority, a principle, or some validity.
Yeah.
They don't have any of those. They don't have a moral standard because Ukraine was evil when Trump called them, but now we're best friends, right?
Yep.
Trump was a dictator because he said he was going to lock up Hillary, never did. But didn't Zelensky lock up his political opponent right after he won? Immediately?
Yeah, he kind of did.
Okay, just checking. They lied to us even about this war, about what's been happening so far. Remember the Ghost of Kiev, right?
Yeah.
Airsoft hot chick?
Airsoft hot chick.
Skull Island, was it Skull Island, Snake Island?
Snake Island. The 13 soldiers on Snake Island that heroically died, giving Putin the middle finger, essentially.
And they didn't.
No,
they told
happened.
us that no, the Russians weren't attacking biolabs because those don't exist. Oh, wait, under Congress, they had to admit to that.
They do.
So if you have no morals no principles, and no validity whatsoever, what else do you have other than you're racist, homophobic, phobophobic? Shame on you.
Yeah. Basically, it comes down to this. We don't care about Putin.
Nope.
We care about the people of Ukraine. We don't care about the Ukrainian government. They can go kick rocks.
Yep.
We, of course, we would rather that the people of Ukraine weren't getting killed, and that Putin wasn't invading. But we see through your pathetic attempts to make us hate Putin so much that we give you the thumbs up to go to war. We see through it. We see right through it, and all your so-called shame means exactly dick to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can take it and you can cram it where the sun don't shine, and we will not be giving you the thumbs up to go to war. We don't want it. We're not going. That's all there is to it.
Go ahead.
No, that's all there is to it. We're done.
What's the average lifespan of when we get involved in wars? Is it like 20 plus years every time?
Yeah. We don't want World War III. All right? We don't like what you're doing in Iran. We don't like what you've been doing in China. We don't like any of it. We're not down with the global reset. ESG needs to be squashed in every state immediately. Apparently, Idaho lost a kind of a battle with that. They had a really, really strong bill against ESG in committee, and then the lobbyists came and they let it fizzle in committee.
You mean politicians got paid off by lobbyists?
Yeah.
Against their best interest?
Our boy Ben Adams was part of that committee, so we're hoping to get him on next week to talk about all that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here's the problem that they're running into. You can be wrong so long, but at the end of the day, just like you said, Matt, you're going to see through the BS. Because here's the reality. I'm gonna be the dumb non-player character in America, okay? I'm gonna pretend that I'm not abreast to all this, that I don't know what's going on, and so on and so forth. My first question is, who's Vladimir Putin? Right?
Yeah. I mean, people can't even tell you who the vice president is on the street, you know, but they're supposed to know who Vladimir Putin is.
Yeah, I mean, they have no clue who Kamala is. They didn't even know who Trump's vice president was.
No, they didn't.
Average person does not care at all. They don't care. And then on top of it, the average person can't find Ukraine on a map.
Yeah.
They probably can't even find Russia on a map.
But here's the problem.
What?
Them not knowing doesn't immunize them from the programming, you know?
Oh, sure. 100%. 100%.
So they'll still be from out of nowhere. Oh, Putin's evil. What are you pro Putin?
But
what are you talking about? You don't even know who he is.
But here's the problem. Independent voters don't care. They don't care. You know what independent voters care about right now?
What's that?
Why do I have to take out a third mortgage to pay for gas?
That is true.
And here's the problem. You started this propaganda war with Russia 6 months too late because gas was already going up.
Yeah.
It was going up way before they heard about Vladimir Putin, before the NPC messaging could happen.
Yep.
They already knew that Biden was bad. And here's the deal. You have the first year to set up your popularity. It only goes down as things progress. And your boy Joe's not doing good, especially with independents.
No, and Kamala's even worse.
Go ahead.
And Kamala's even worse.
And here's the problem: the people that actually pay attention to politics, aka conservatives, Republicans, what's your selling point to them? Because they're the only ones that are going to fight wars for you. I mean, they fell for it with the yellow cake and weapons of mass destruction because of 9/11. Let's get real. We're all a little heightened. We all wanted to kick some goat herders. I get it, totally get it. But anybody with a brain back then was like, why are we going to Iraq again? I remember sitting in my freshman year of college on the community couch in the lounge, and I literally thought, I was like, this jackass Bush is going to use this terrorist attack to go back to Iraq after his dad already left. He's going to use it. And globalists do what globalists do, because Biden's a globalist, and he's going to use every excuse to get into some type of war. But the problem is, they live and die by the polls. Let's get real. How much of the propaganda and media has swayed independent voters to, one, vote for Democrats, or two, want to go to war?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because historically, wars give Americans hard-ons, and they go after it, and they want to kill something, okay? If there's a real threat, because Saddam was evil, it was easy, right? Because think about it. Saddam, Kuwait, we were already there. Let's go get him. Oh, yeah, and he's been funding those terrorists. Wrong country, the one that ends with an N, not Q, but we're going to go after Iraq, who was not funding terrorists at the time, right? But we remember that. Afghanistan, that's where, Osama bin Laden was, right? We could get behind that, but then we killed him the second year of Obama's presidency? Was the second year that we got him?
Something like that, yeah.
And then we stayed. We just stayed.
Well, we have to build a nation. We got to spread democracy, my friend.
And
we got to
remember,
spread it.
Orange Man is, yeah, true. We got to spread that.
Even though we're not a democracy, and
no,
Yep.
The NPCs don't know this. But remember what Orange Man was in, and we started that one war with that one country. Which one was it? Which one was it?
No, there was none. There was no.
Oh, that's
wars.
right.
There were continuations of wars. He didn't stop the wars that he said he was going to, but.
Oh, but remember they tricked him when he tried to get out of Afghanistan. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
He tried to pull people out of Afghanistan in a sane way, unlike what Biden just did a couple months ago, and he got roasted for it. He got impeached for it. That was about the same time the impeachment happened. Remember that?
Yeah.
Got to keep that war machine churning. But anyway, Biden gets back in and just screws things up, and then wants to start a new war, because that'll be his legacy. Congratulations. Here's the problem. You got the internet, and people have memories now, okay? I can remember back to 1999. I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, I do have the ability to remember things, yes.
Ooh, and we're the ones having kids now.
True.
I have an 18-year-old. I remember when my buddy, Andy Rebelos came back and told me that his whole platoon was hamburger meat except for him. I remember that. I remember two of my buddies not coming back from Iraq. I remember that. How did that end up for Iraq? Did we institute freedom and democracy there? How'd that go?
Yeah, no, Taliban took it back day one.
Oh, so we let 5,500 troops go and die there for no reason.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it turns out that the people in the army that we were training for, forever, decades, kind of just didn't really feel like fighting. And so they insta surrendered and, and maybe even helped a little bit.
Huh. It's strange. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd think the same thing if another country invaded my country, but it's okay when we do it, right? Right?
Yeah.
It's okay when we do it. Right? Right?
Yeah.
It's okay
Yeah.
when we do it. Gotta spread that freedom. Gasoline, lithium. But hey, anyways, my point is this. Military industrial complex, man. Oh, sorry, it keeps coming up today. Sorry about that. Globalism. But anyways, my point is, we don't have a short-term memory, and I don't want to characterize or I don't want to say this side's better or this side's worse. Republicans suck just as bad, right? Tucker's getting in all kinds of trouble because he's having Republicans on there literally have to defend themselves why they're trying to send 19 or $14 billion to Ukraine right now, but won't finish our border.
Yeah.
And not only that, Republicans are trying to get amnesty right now for people who broke our laws getting into this country instead of securing it. Which is interesting to me because they're supposed to be Republicans, right? Or wait a minute, are they all on the same side and we're just picking between the same coin? Just a different side. Is that what we're doing?
That is what we're doing.
No wonder. And so it's very interesting to me that Tucker Carlson's a traitor because he doesn't want to go to another war, that we just went through a bunch of wars.
Yeah, you're a traitor if you don't want to defend another country from a third country.
I want to defend my own country.
Yeah, how does that make you a traitor to your own country, which isn't involved in the fight? You're a traitor. You're a traitor if you don't want to enter into war because you think it will be bad for your country. That makes you a traitor.
Because TV said so. I mean, TV told me that I was going to die from the flu. And TV told me I had to get 2 shots and 3-4 boosters, and it was safe and effective. And it worked out really well because TV told me so. But I just got more sick, and I didn't die. And the people who I called anti-science for 2 years and, segregated myself from forever somehow lived.
Not just the anti-science, but you literally want to murder grandma.
Yeah, I want to murder grandma.
You're essentially a murderer, and you should be killed.
That's what that was told.
Or at the very least, denied health services.
Well, and then right before that, they told me that if I supported police in any way, I was a racist because every cop is out there right now. There's cops out there actively hunting down young black men just to slaughter. Even though black men are 13% of the population, black people are 13% of the population and account for over 51% of the crimes in America. But hey, it's the cops' fault, because people don't make personal choices. And if you don't agree with that, you're a racist. Right?
Exactly.
And then, if you happen to have principles that stem from your moral base, which is God Almighty from his word of God, and in that word of God, he completely destroys 2 cities because of their sexual immorality. Specifically talks about how sexual immorality is horrible and it destroys your soul and that God's against it. Specifically says that anyone who does any form of sexual or sexual immorality, which includes the effeminate, which I absolutely love that line, by the way, in Romans, the effeminate and the homosexual, that they won't enter the kingdom of heaven, that I don't support you teaching my 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-old what sodomy is. I hate gay people.
Yeah. No. Your 3rd grader needs to know how to use a condom for anal sex. And they probably should know that they're probably not a boy or a girl or whatever they were born as. Sure. They should probably know that.
Okay, yeah. But if I disagree with it, it means I hate gay people?
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, I mean, the next leap is that makes you pro-Putin. Because, he hates gay people.
It all goes back to Putin.
Yeah, well, Putin is the cause of all of our problems right now.
I did not know that. I didn't know this was the new scapegoat. Is this the new Hitler? He's the new Hitler? Wow.
No. I don't have the clip, but there was this. I think it was CNN. I heard a clip of a guy basically making the argument that he's worse than Hitler.
Oh, which concentration camp did he do?
Well, I mean, there is the gulags, right? I mean,
true.
Putin isn't a good guy.
Like
we're anti-Putin.
90% of the world leaders. I would say almost 99% of the world leaders aren't good guys. Joe Biden's not a good guy.
What genocide has he committed? He's gone to war He definitely silences his opponents and anybody who
Yeah.
you know, speaks ill of him.
Sure.
That definitely happens.
Yeah.
But he's worse than Hitler?
Well, yeah, because he killed biolabs. I mean, that's the same thing as Auschwitz, right?
Yeah. This is...
He bombed a bunch of biolabs.
See, and here was the argument. Here was the argument for why he's worse than Hitler. People in Ukraine are pretty much ethnically Russian, right?
Yes.
Hitler didn't kill Germans. He didn't genocide Germans. That's the argument. God, these people are so dumb. The Jews that they rounded up weren't Germans?
The Jews in Germany that they rounded up and killed were not Germans.
Well, they weren't. So what he's saying is they weren't Aryan. So, I mean, this guy's killing what? Like it's like a BLM wet dream. This guy's killing white people. I mean, at least Hitler killed, the minorities.
Oh, is that why BLM
What kind of sick statement is that? What's that?
Is that why BLM's been quiet about Ukraine? It's not because they're being prosecuted right now as we speak?
Well, I mean, just ask Joy Reid. Joy Reid did say that the reason the world cares about what's going on in Ukraine is because it's white people killing white people.
Can I say this on record?
Yes.
I feel horrible for the Ukrainian people and the Russian people. I feel bad for both sides.
Yeah.
But as far as government versus government conflict, I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care.
That's the thing. They're trying to make it as if this is the thing that we always miss, is that we are not our government.
No.
I'm sorry, I love the founding fathers, but the government is not of the people. It's not really by the people, and it's sure as hell not anymore for the people.
For the people. That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
It just isn't. It just isn't, and we need to lose that idea. I mean, it's what they wanted the government to aspire to be, but it's not what it is, and we should never think that it is, even if it does. Even if it does live up to the aspirations, we can never fall asleep and think that it is by the people, of the people, by the people, and for the people. Because the second we do, it no longer is those things. Okay? The Russian people are not the Russian government. The Ukrainian people are not the Ukrainian people. They are the collateral the Russian people and the Ukrainian people are the collateral damage of governments doing what governments do, and our government wants to draw us in to be extra collateral damage.
Yep.
To cover up their crimes in Ukraine. All right? And to draw us into the New World Order, probably. I have a question about that, because there's another story that is, Saudi Arabia is back in talks again with China to sell them oil using the yuan, the Chinese yuan, and not the dollar. Yep. If this goes through, this is the end of the dollar, the petrodollar, which means the beginning of the end of the dollar as the world's reserve currency, which means massive hyperinflation for us as all these countries that are holding US dollars to buy oil sell all that to get whatever the new reserve currency is, and all this money floods back into our market.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not super afraid of that. No,
well, that's what Bloomberg said too, so...
Huh?
That's what Bloomberg said too. It's not really... I wouldn't be too worried about this.
No, listen, I'm not backing Bloomberg. Just because I happen to agree does not mean it's like, for example, like I literally, how do I say this? Yeah. The only reason I would say that, and not saying that, and I'm not saying that the dollar's not going to get knocked off its perch. It will. It eventually will. I don't see
Yes.
America in Revelation. I don't know. I don't see them. I see.
They're
I see
not,
Gog
but
and
that doesn't
Magog.
mean that we don't exist. It just means that
100%. But all I'm saying is I don't see red, white, and blue coming across the screen. Now, what I do. Here's the problem, though. Do you think it's going to be the Chinese currency though? Because it's propped up on nothing too, though. That's what I'm saying. You've got the U.S. dollar, which is propped up by oil, and you got the Chinese. Is it yen? It's not the yen. What is it?
yuan.
What's the Chinese?
Yuan.
The what? Yuan.
Yuan.
Which is propped up on nothing. It's propped on nothing.
Okay.
Their whole system is how do I say this? From my understanding, I'm not an expert by any means, but a lot of their finances are cooked. They're not real. You know what I mean? It's not
true.
It's you know what I'm
But
saying?
here's the thing.
But yeah.
Here's the thing. Okay. There's a bunch of different points that I want to make. China has been buying a ton of gold. They've just been buying gold like crazy. They're also buying up natural resources, making deals for rare earth. Like they immediately jumped on Afghanistan for the rare earth minerals. They're building up their portfolio of assets.
Okay.
B, their cryptocurrency. They're implementing a state-controlled cryptocurrency as we speak. They've already got the social credit score system going. All right. Thirdly, Saudi Arabia wouldn't take Biden's phone call. They wouldn't take his meeting for them to produce more oil for us because he badmouthed them, and we won't help them with Yemen, which is a good thing. Yeah. I'm glad that that's, although we still sell them the weapons. I mean, I don't know what more they want, but we're
the Rothschilds. They want us to use our bodies to help them, just like Ukraine wants us to use our bodies to help them. It's like a pattern.
Yeah.
When you're the world police, everybody expects you to do it for them.
Yeah. But so there's all these things that it doesn't paint a pretty picture. And my question is like, what is the globalist plan here? Because why are they doing these things? I don't take China to be a globalist country anymore. Like there was a time that I thought that, but yeah, I thought that all the leaders but no, China, Russia, they're about China. Russia's about Russia. Yeah, they're very nationalist. They're yeah.
But for you to effectively be a really good globalist, you need the anti-globalists to fight against. You need a war. You need an enemy.
True.
You need somebody to conquer. Okay. So
they're building an enemy that for them to have to fight.
Yes.
The other thing about it, the other thing that I changing that will be a great impetus for a Fed coin. The petrodollar ending will be a fantastic, and hyperinflation will be a fantastic impetus for the American people to clamor for a Fed coin.
But they're already putting legislation in control to control that too.
Oh yeah.
So
they're working on it. They're working on it. They just need. They know that. I mean, they just need us to want it.
But here's the thing. What is Revelation? Revelation is a one world currency, a one world government, one. You know what I mean? We already see what it is in the book. We know how it goes down.
Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to game plan what's going on now.
What's going on now is you said it 2 years ago. This is the managed decline of the United States of America. Yes. They are letting it burn, pretending that they care about saving it. If you cared about your country not burning, you wouldn't send $14 billion. $14 billion we're in a recession. nobody wants to say it, but we are, to Ukraine. Okay? If you care about America, you would finish and just pick up the material that's already there and finish your border and actually have some border security. You don't care about that. If you care about America, you would never voice not back in the blue. Okay? Now listen, again, I respect police officers, but they're not all good. They're not. No police officer will tell you that they're all good. Okay? They're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're unfortunately a necessary evil. You know what I mean? But guess what? That's what the Second Amendment's for. Here on my own property. It is what it is. The reality is it's managed decline. It is literal managed decline. And what it is this. What it's going to come down to is if you want to unseat a global power, you have to create a civil war. It just is what it is. You have to get it so bad that brother's killing brother. It's that simple, because that's really what they're leading us down to, right? You said it. It's like, if you don't hate Putin, you're supporting him. No. Anybody with a nuanced brain can say that. Okay? Yeah. If I don't like vanilla, it doesn't mean I like chocolate.
Yeah, you can. It is possible to not like both.
I'm very indifferent to both.
Yeah,
I like strawberry.
I'm a mint. I'm a mint guy.
Ooh, I had some mint the other day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all the rubes out there, by the way.
Oh,
Everybody's Irish today, right?
Everybody's Irish. Let's get rid of those snakes.
Listen,
let's get the snakes out of Washington D.C.
Yeah.
We need a new St. Patrick.
But honestly, just because I don't like Thai food doesn't mean I hate Asian food. Let's get real.
Japanese hibachi is delicious.
Oh, yeah. I love General Tso's. Japanese hibachi. Sushi.
I'm not about peanut sauce, though.
Exactly. I don't have to like Thai to whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, I have Ukrainian and Russian friends because we live in an international city. They run all the gyms here in Orlando. Ruskies and Ukrainians run all the gyms in Orlando, okay? All of them. But guess what? It's snake whacking day. Sorry. Don't. Anyways, sorry about it. But no, like, none of them want this war.
No.
Do I like my Ukrainian friends better than my Russian friends? No.
No.
I like them both equally.
What we want is liberty for all.
Yeah.
That's what we want. I'm not pro the war. I'm against the war, but I'm also against us going to war.
Yeah.
I just want liberty. I want freedom.
I hate to quote Bill Maher. I hate to do it. I'm going to do it, though.
Yeah.
My principles never changed. Y'all shifted on me. Okay? Yep. I was anti-war when we were in Iraq. Because guess what? I had friends that were going there. You probably had friends that ended up going there. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. I had to witness that. I had to witness them come back. I had to witness them deal with stuff.
I'm from Miami, so I didn't actually have a lot of friends. Miami's not like Ohio. There was reasons to stay.
I'm not even going to refute you on that. I am not going to refute you. I agree. So bad.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I don't.
No, it's It is sad that you. No, it really is sad though that you lost friends, man.
I have friends that are still dealing with, like, I had to go kill Iraqis because my government said so. I had to go kill Iraqis for no reason, and they got to deal with that grief, and they tell me about it.
I mean, we were just on. We were on the Fabian Liberty channel, and you said thank you for their service because both of them were in the military. And they don't want to hear that. They have no
pride,
love for that, no pride for having been in the military.
Yep.
Because they were freaking lied to, I'm sure.
Yep.
And now they're
we all were, right?
Anarcho-capitalists.
But listen, we were all lied to. Okay.
True, we were all.
But
they especially paid a price,
Listen, I was told that it was this, 16 terrorists with box cutters magically by themselves found a way topple some towers and stuff. Somehow Building 7 came down, but we won't talk about that. And they ran into the Pentagon, even though they did an impossible flight mission, which could never happen. But I didn't find that stuff out until years afterwards. Then I was like, oh, shoot. There's more to 9/11 than they said, because they lied to us. Even with the threat, because I believed the yellow cake and I believed the weapons of mass destruction, but I was like, I still don't believe it was right for us to go to Iraq. There was no reason for us to go there. It's an invasion. Years later, found out, guess what? That wasn't true either, right? And even the Republicans to this day still try to defend that war. They try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Biden's quote today. I'm Irish. I'm not stupid.
He was just showing his love for Ireland.
But no, I mean, let's get real. Like, we've all been lied to, okay? They're still trying to tell us that there was nothing wrong with the election that just happened in 2022. And they're pissed. They're pissed that 45% of Americans don't believe this election was true. They're still mad about that. Like, that's like they're talking.
But they're mad not because it's a lie, because we believe a lie, but because they couldn't lie to us and make us believe it.
Like they're still pissed that 25% of Americans didn't get vaxxed at all. They're
still super pissed that Trump even got elected.
Yeah.
That's the big one. That's the big one. That was the start of it all. It's like, how dare you not do what we directed you to do? This was Hillary's year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and we should.
We're not. Go ahead.
No, I mean, we should be. Man, we should. The spirit of rebellion. It's so funny. It's like we're Christians, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're Christians. And so, in general, in Christianity, a spirit of rebellion is not a good thing.
To God, yes.
To God. But yes, that's the fine distinction. A spirit of rebellion against God is not a good thing. But the spirit of rebellion that existed in 1776 needs to be we need to wear it on our sleeves and on our heads and on our pants. We need to be clothed in rebellion against our government and against authoritarianism and totalitarianism all the time. I am so sick. I'm sick of having these discussions about how much they want to destroy us and control us and usher in this hellscape of tyranny.
It's about Putin. It's about Black Lives Matter. It's about a shot and a jab. It's about COVID. It's about Orange Man. It's about you're a racist if you don't listen to everything Obama says. It's everything that it's not. It literally is. Literally. It's everything that it's not, which is amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and at some point, like, what does it say? Age gives you wisdom, right? Age gets wisdom. Remember when you were growing up and they're like, hey, look up Gullible. You know, Gullible's up on the ceiling. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And eventually you wake up like, okay, they're full of it, right? Like, I'm a sarcastic guy. My girls have figured out that daddy's like fibbing. Not fibbing, but he's joking with them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're in the car and they start the classic kids, how much longer do we have to drive? And you know what I say every single time? We're almost to Ohio. We're getting there. Yeah, about the same distance we drove to Ohio, because that's fresh in their brain that we've driven to Ohio. And that took forever.
Yep.
And immediately the question of how close are we goes away, because they're like, oh, okay, daddy's pointing out the fact that I shouldn't be asking this question right now. You know what I mean?
I just straight up say, don't ask that question. We'll get there when we get there. You'll know we're there because we'll stop.
Yeah. It's way more fun to mess with them, though. It's more fun.
Oh, no, I do that from time to time, too. That's just particularly a triggering question for me.
Dad PTSD driving, like,
yeah,
anyways. You know, but I do it to my dad, too. But no, I mean, like, think about it. It's like, okay, like, eventually you're going to learn, like, okay, daddy is messing with me. Okay, cool. Right. At some point, you're going to realize the media lies to you. At some point,
My
you're gonna realize
daughter.
the government is not for you. What?
I was gonna say my daughter has a canned response now when I'm messing with her, and she just goes, "Daddy, Daddy."
Raven's like, "Are you joking? Are you joking?" Yes, Daddy's joking. But like, think about this. Like, at some point, a grown person, like, what's the famous line from Friends? Are you a Friends guy?
Yeah.
What did Rachel's mom say to her? Once a cheater, always a cheater. Like, once a liar, always a liar. And what's really sad about this is this. I don't hate gay people. Some of the closest people I've ever been to in my life were lesbians, and I didn't hate them. But I guess what? I didn't agree or affirm their lifestyle. I felt sad for them. They did what most lesbians do, which die 20 years younger than their life expectancy. Oops, sorry, did I just drop a truth bomb? It's sad that they have to go through that they choose that sin over life fulfillment through Jesus Christ. Praise God, one of them got saved before they died, but the other one didn't. Never hated them. I felt sad for them. Okay? Putin.
No,
I don't know.
it's not
Putin
about hate.
It's not. It's not.
It's about disagreement. That's it.
Yeah.
You can disagree with people and not hate them.
Yeah. Listen.
Damn it.
I think Putin is a slimy dude, but he's pretty smart about doing it. But that doesn't mean I trust him. I wouldn't let him watch my kids.
No.
He probably, like, listen, I saw what he did at the Sochi Olympics. I mean, he got busted. He doped up all of his athletes. That's why Russia can't hold their you can't play the Russian flag.
They're the Russian International Olympic Committee. They're not.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
They're not Russia.
What's the
they
point
can't
of the
fly
games?
their flag.
They're trying to win. What's the point of competition? You're trying to win. So guess what he did? He doped up all of his athletes because he wanted to win. Okay.
He wanted to win in his home turf because he's about Russia. This is what we're talking about. Russia is a nationalist country.
And he doesn't care if he pisses you off. Go ahead.
Yes. And then again, nationalism isn't necessarily bad.
No.
But the way they do it, it's not necessarily good either, you know?
Well, you know what my favorite is?
Here's the thing. They like to distract us from everything's a distraction, right? Yes. So nationalism is evil, and we're here arguing about, well, nationalism isn't always evil. Just because you love your country doesn't make it, that's not an evil thing. What they're completely ignoring is the authoritarianism, because they want to use the authoritarianism themselves.
Yep.
What's wrong with Russia is his authoritarian streak. What's wrong with China is the complete totalitarianism of it. It's okay to love America, to be a nationalist for America, as long as you are liberty-minded as well. If you if you're not going to force other people to believe as you do, or keep their mouths shut, or else they're going to die or be thrown in jail, that's not the American way. What I love about America is the freedom, is the liberty for all, is the Bill of Rights that restricts the government from infringing on our God-given rights.
And you're free to sin, by the way. You're free to sin.
Yeah.
In that system. You're free to be gay. That's cool. I don't have to agree with you. And I don't have to affirm you.
I don't.
Just like, guess what?
And I don't have to teach my kids to do that too either.
Exactly. And guess what? Nobody's holding your gun to read a Bible. You should. Probably the best thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
No one's holding a gun to your head to do that. But you're trying to hold a gun to my head to, endorse sodomy. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
That and a whole host of other things.
Exactly.
To endorse sodomy, to take a jab, to go to war with Putin.
Yep.
And it's going to get worse. This ESG thing, that is a gun to our head to fall in line with everything, or else you won't be able to, buy buy a house because no bank will loan to you because you're a reputation risk. Did you see that was McDonald's statement for why they closed all their restaurants in Russia? And what Putin did was he said we know how to flip burgers. So you're not coming back after this is over. He just seized all the McDonald's restaurants.
Yeah.
They'll run them themselves. And so McDonald's lost billions of dollars that they invested in Russia. Why? Because it was a reputation risk. This is ESG at work. We're seeing it working right now. Because companies like BlackRock won't invest in a McDonald's that still has restaurants in Russia. Because BlackRock is trying to, is part of the globalist agenda, and they're putting their pressure on everything to make this thing happen. ESG is a big problem. We need to be more aware of it.
No wonder they're trying to kill small business, because small business usurps all that BS.
Exactly.
That's why they had to go. They had to do the pandemic first and kill small businesses, because that doesn't work in a small business model. You can okay.
It's like you can do all that.
So It is what it is, dog. I'm with you, bro. Hey, dude, let's wrap this thing up, man. Because I love being called a traitor for not wanting to go to war with another country that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. And to be pro a dictator when really what you care about is liberty.
Yep.
Whatever. They can go cram it with walnuts.
Yeah.
And all like we're all ducks now. It's just like water off a duck's back. All this criticism, who cares? It almost is now enjoyable to be called a racist.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thanks. You recognize that I'm not a lunatic. Appreciate that.
Oh, I'm anti-science? Okay.
Awesome.
Right.
Proud to be.
How's your health?
Thank you. Yeah.
How's your health going?
Yeah. Poor Dusty didn't get to join us. Get to join us. But he's prepping for a big trip that he's taking next week. So I'm gonna need you on the show a bit next week. So
true.
I mean, obviously for the podcast show, but for the prep shows, for the prep streams, which are a Twitch exclusive, ladies and gentlemen.
Twitch exclusive.
Yep. So come join us. Give us your ideas. Like we got a chatter who sent us the video. That's the time to Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's the time to submit those so that we can review them and maybe put it on the show and talk about it. Anyway, you have any final thoughts, bro?
I do. Unless your opinion saves my soul or feeds my kids, I don't care. And let's get it.
Especially when it comes from the corporate media and the government.
Yeah. Like here's the deal. We do an opinion show because the megaphones are all pointing in one direction. Somebody has to stand in front of the herd. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And give you a reality, because we actually live in the real world. We're real people. We actually interact with real people. Okay? You can call me a racist till the cows come home, but it doesn't affect my soul, because Jesus has my soul, because I put my faith and trust in Jesus Christ alone, through faith alone. And I repented of my sins, and I put everything in Jesus' hands. That's what saves me, not you. So any morality that you think you can declare through sodomy, I laugh at you like God laughs at you. What is it? Is it Psalms 91 where God mocks those who war against him? Listen, I trust the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I do not give a rat's behind what anybody thinks. Secondly, if your opinion doesn't feed my kids, I don't care. Putin doesn't save my life or feed my children. The vaccine didn't save my life and didn't save a lot of people's lives. No offense. And really, my soul is the more important thing. Doesn't save my soul and didn't feed my kids.
Here's the other thing. Putin's war is not really the reason why it's so much more expensive to feed your kids
Not at all.
and drive to church.
Not at all. Not at all. But that's the thing is, at some point, we have to wake up to the fact that what really matters comes down to your soul and then what you got to take care of, especially men in your family. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. And the thing is this, is if you trust Jesus Christ with your soul, you're not going to fear those moments where you have to get a jab to save your job. And I give kudos to people who fought it tooth and nail and ended up winning it because thanks, Putin. Putin killed Corona, okay? But let's get real. And the same thing's going to happen with Putin. This will pass until the next distraction comes, right? It's always a disease, then a war, then some racial deal. Well, guess what? 2 years from now, we got another election and Trump's involved. So they're going to drum up some racist BS again, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to try to stop Asian hate, even though we just watched a black guy knife an old woman on video 63 times, okay? Jeez. They don't want to talk about that because
what is do you understand that the hatred
Sin.
there? I mean, obviously. But like this is particularly pointed at, you know.
And what's magical, it's not white people doing it. That's why they don't run with it anymore, because it doesn't sell. Because when you see the video of the people killing the Asian people, it's always black people. But yeah, here's the thing, like realistically, in reality, it's going to be some sickness, then a war, then racism. Who knows what it's going to be next? Oh, Donald Trump's racist again because he wants to close up the border or whatever bullcrap they're going to come up with next. Hispanics aren't buying it. They're already losing in droves because Hispanics identify as conservatives. Let's get real. We live in Florida. We can tell you that straight up. I don't know a single Hispanic friend of mine that actually wants to vote for Biden. I don't know one. And they're Venezuelans and Cubans, so Cubanos. Even the Boricuas, who don't give a rat's butt about anything, don't care about Biden, but that's another story for another time. But my point is this. If you don't save my soul or feed my kids, I don't care what you call me. You can take your shoes off, find the biggest boulder you can find and kick it as hard as you possibly can with both feet. I don't care. Call me a racist, a traitor, homophobe, phobophobic, with misogynistic, xenophobic. I don't care. And guess what? Most of America doesn't either. You overplayed your hand. You lied too long. And now, sadly, shame doesn't work anymore, because when your shame comes with no moral basis, no credibility, no principles, it means nothing. That's my final thought.
Yeah. My final thought is we can't let them keep distracting us with the weeds, you know? Like the whole nationalism thing, you know? You see, I mean, we rightly point out that Putin, you know, and Russia is a nationalist deal. But that's not the issue. They'll want it to be the issue. Look, nationalism is bad. Told you so.
While fighting for the nationalism of Ukraine, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Ukraine's not unnationalist, although they may want to be more globalist than.
Well,
I mean, Zelensky was installed to probably be more globalist, but
yeah.
Did
There's a
I
really
say
nice
that?
dance video with a couple guys dressed up as gay guys. It's pretty funny.
Did I say that he was installed? I didn't. I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, listen, everything was clear. It's a democracy. There's no selections whatsoever. 2020 election. But you know, we would never say that on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, we can't let them distract us with these non-issues, because the whole time that we're fighting about whether or not nationalism is good or whether or not we're pro-Putin, we're being kept away from what we really need to be talking about, which is liberty. So we need to be focused on two things: God first and foremost.
Amen.
Obviously. And God as expressed in the person of Jesus Christ.
Yep.
And two, liberty. This is about liberty. If it's not about freedom, we need to have a 2-track mind, and those tracks run parallel, by the way. So it makes for a really great train system. That's the long and short of it.
Amen.
No, I don't want to go to war because liberty. Well, you're pro-Putin? No, liberty. Liberty, 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 liberty. Liberty, 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 liberty. All right. On that note, you've been watching Plausible Foolishness, the home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, dagnabbit.
Amen.
The taxes are voluntary because anything else would be theft. And we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Thursday, now at 7:30 p.m., right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, Rumble, anywhere you can get a podcast, Instagram, and minds.com. Peace out. God bless. See ya Tuesday for show prep. Bring us your ideas. Later.
Hey, where's Fauci?
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. It's gonna be legendary right here, man. Let's get it. Word. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. I'm just here to bring the facts. I'm not worried about your feelings. It's the way that y'all react. It goes way beyond the killings. Y'all can focus on the bad while I keep being the realest. Got me looking at the stats, trying to find out what the deal is. Take a look at DOJ, murder rate and what they say. 52% on homicides, like we ain't taking vacay. That is sad. I don't get it. Then you blame it on your payment. No, it's not. You just ignorant. You the problem. Just admit it. Tired of us going through this cycle. Blaming others means you in denial. Situations getting dire, this is vital. So it's time for us to crack open the Bible and get back to the truth. Yeah, I know you ain't gonna like it. Yeah, I know you ain't gonna like it. Some of you ain't got a clue. Heaven knows that I'm fighting. Heaven knows that I'm fighting. Get them back to the truth.
A black liberal ain't nothing but a house Negro. I said it. I just said it. Drop the bomb. Boom. A black liberal ain't nothing but a house Negro.
See that nonsense stretching, found up in the comment sections. Off a limit, calling it progression. All you wanna do, follow deception, no direction. See the scope, it's titty and dope. Every argument will go past yours, and whether feeding us like goats. See now, only gonna find the way truth in the lie. Knowing about it, but taking two from the fight. Maybe you don't make it out to it.